Hello and welcome to British summertime. The clocks went forward last night, so biologically it's nearly 10:30. According to the clock, it's nearly 11:30. Cats are very confused. Right, welcome to this week's video. I'm sorry I didn't do it yesterday as promised, but I was practicing what I preach. I needed time away from social media. For my own health and well-being. Okay, so we are all in an extremely unusual situation at the moment. So in the meditation, I'm going to be encouraging you to be curious about lots of things. Because one of the attitudes of mindfulness is about being curious, about trying to look at things in the way a child would, pretending that you've never seen something before, never experienced something before. Well, being honest, a lot of us are experiencing something we've never experienced before, so it actually shouldn't be too hard. But I want you to try and bring that to your own experiences, because if you're used to going out to work and suddenly you can't, apart from the fact that you've got all the worries and everything that go around about that, you are stuck in unfamiliar surroundings, but in a way they're very familiar because it's probably your home. But if you can bring an attitude of curiosity to what you see and what you do and what you feel during the day, it can be helpful. So while I'm waffling, I'm giving people a chance to join in, but also I'd like to invite you to get yourself into your place so you can turn the phone off, tell the rest of the family that you don't want to be disturbed for a few minutes, and get yourself into a place so you can do a few gentle qigong moves and then participate in a meditation. If you can, possibly get the whole family involved, if you can get this displayed so that everyone can join in. This is suitable for all ages and all levels of physical capability. But if you are trying to broadcast this in one room to your family, just make sure that where everyone's standing or sitting, they can put their arms out and not bop anybody on the nose. So just make sure you've got enough room to make sure you can do this without hurting everybody. So enough with the waffle. I hope I've given enough time to get yourself into your space, to if you're in a wheelchair, hello my CPM friends, if you're in a wheelchair, to get your chair adjusted. And I'm going to move back from the camera to do the qigong, so just a moment. So, do you know, I think we're going to do something I don't normally do, and we'll start with bowing in. So bring your left hand across your body with the palm up, bring your right hand across your body with the palm down, clasp your arms and then bow from the waist, letting your eyes go down to the floor, and then gently rise up. Then let your hands gently float down by your sides. Then if you're standing, can you step out so that your feet are about a hip width apart, feet flat on the floor, knees slightly bent. If you're seated, just make sure your feet are flat on the floor, about a hip width apart. And as ever, if you're watching this and you know me, it's not about doing it perfectly, but about doing it perfectly for you. Nothing you do during this should cause you any pain or discomfort. So just adjust what you do, or in extreme cases, just do it in your imagination. So, feet flat on the floor, knees slightly bent. Obviously, if you're seated, they're going to be bent. Can you engage those core muscles? Get your back as straight as you can. Get your neck as straight as you can, and then think about the crown of your head and make sure the crown of your head is pointing up at the floor. Let your shoulders relax, let your arms hang loose. Maybe imagine that all the weight just drains out of your arms through the fingertips. And then when you've got yourself into position, I want you to just breathe. Use your breath to tune into your body. Send your attention down to your feet and make sure your weight is evenly distributed. Just scan up through your body gently. Just making sure that every bit of you is comfortable in this position, and if not, just adjusting it so it is. Finally, just tune into what's going on in your mind right here, right now. And maybe get a sense of how you'd like to feel at the end of this session. Then I want you to use your imagination. Can you imagine that you are in a lift? Now, this is unlike any lift you've been in before, probably. It's huge. It's comfortable. And when it moves, you can hardly feel the motion and you can't hear the motor. It's like a Rolls Royce. I want you to imagine that Rolls Royce of a lift is rising up. And there's another unusual thing about this lift, which is it has got glass walls. So, as you look out of those glass walls, you realise you can see the most beautiful countryside. And as you look at that countryside, you feel relaxed and calm. Then when you're ready, just allow your lift to float down. Maybe with every out breath, allow your lift to float down one floor. Breath by breath, floor by floor, allow your lift to float down until it reaches the ground. Then just gently turn your arms so that the palms of your hands are facing backwards. And then with your next in-breath, just allow your arms to float up in front of you. And then when you breathe out, just allow them to sink gently back down. And you move your arms as far as you can manage in one gentle, easy breath. And you move your arms as far as is comfortable for your shoulders. Just do what works for you. Small is beautiful in Tai Chi, as long as that's what your breath works with. Just focus on trying to get your breath and your body gently working together. Be curious. Can you feel your breath? Can you feel the flow? Can you feel that continuity of everything just flowing together? Then we'll do this move twice more. And the second move starts the same, breathing in, your hands floating up, but then turn your hands inwards and let them spread apart, and as you breathe out, they float back in and back down. With this move, can you be curious? See if you can feel your chest and lungs expanding on the in-breath and feel that relaxation on the out-breath. Maybe you can get the sense that your hands and arms are moving outwards with that expansion and then allowed to float back in as everything relaxes back on the out-breath. Or maybe you could imagine that as you breathe in good and positive feelings, and as you breathe out any stress or tension like grey smoke. So breathe in, let your arms float up and spread apart. As you breathe out, they float back in and back down. Breathe those good and positive feelings in, and then breathe out any stress or tension like grey smoke. And we'll do this move one more time. And the next move is painting rainbow. So as you breathe in, allow your arms to float up to make an arch, taking your arms only as far as is comfortable. And as you breathe out, shift your weight slightly to the left and let your right arm uncurl to balance it, keeping your back straight. And as you breathe in, everything comes back to the starting point. Then do the same on the other side. If you're seated, raise the heel on the same side of the hand that's uncurling. But it's easy to see that your hands are painting the shape of a rainbow. As they move through, that's what's called painting rainbows. Maybe imagine that you really are painting a rainbow in the air above you. As you breathe out, your weight shifts, your arm uncurls. As you breathe in, your hand comes up to the top. Then do the same on the other side. And we'll do this move one more time on each side. Breathe out. Your arm uncurls as your weight shifts. As you breathe in, everything comes back to the center. And then last time for this move. As you breathe in, everything comes back to the center. Then as you breathe out, turn your palms outwards and let your arms sweep all the way down by your sides. Then on the in-breath, allow them to rise up again. Breathe out. Your hands float down. Breathe in, let your arms float up. Don't hunch your shoulders. Small is beautiful in Tai Chi. Make this move as small or as big as you're comfortable with. As long as you breathe in, your arms float up. And then as you breathe out, they sweep back down. And we'll do this move twice more. Breathe in, let your arms float up. Breathe out, and they sweep back down. And then last time for this move. Breathe out, and let your hands sweep back down. And then can you bring your hands up in front of you, ready to balance your chi. So as you breathe in, imagine you're feeling around a small ball, and as you breathe out, you push it down. Be careful to keep this move small. Be careful to take your hands no higher than your heart. Breathe in, smooth around the ball. Breathe out and push it down. Breathe in, smooth around the ball. Breathe out and push it down. And then last time for this move. And this time as you breathe out, bring your hands to rest. In front of your tummy, in your weight, on your lap, by your side, whatever works for you. I just want you to stand very still for a moment. And just breathe. Just get that sense of everything settling back to where it should be. Just take 3 or 4 gentle, easy breaths. Maybe using that breath to tune into your body again. And then allow your hands to gently float down by your side. Bring your left foot in towards your right. We'll bow out as we bowed in. Then I'd like you to get yourself settled, ready for the meditation. I'm going to take a slurp of coffee while you do that. I don't care whether you sit, stand, lie, whatever. If you're sitting though, as most people will be, if you can you lift your back away from the chair so that your spine is supporting your head, so that your spine's actually doing some work. But again, do not do anything that causes you any pain or discomfort. That's just a recommendation. So once you've got yourself settled down, I want you to open up your curiosity. Can you look around the room where you are, pretending you've never seen it before? Maybe pretend you've never sat in this chair before. What sort of things do you notice that maybe you hadn't noticed before? Pretend you've never seen a smartphone or a laptop or a tablet before. Think how amazing it is to see one of those for the first time. Maybe think how lucky you are to be really familiar with it. And maybe be curious about how difficult things would be right here, right now, if we didn't have all this smart technology to stay connected. And maybe practice another of the foundational attitudes of mindfulness, gratitude that you have the technology. And then close your eyes if it helps you, but you don't have to close your eyes for mindfulness. Some people find it easier, but I'm just going to remind you that mindfulness is not about clearing your mind. It's about being aware of what your mind is doing. Of course, the thing is, our minds naturally want to think. And very often, they want to think about things that really don't make us feel too good. And let's face it, at the moment, we all have an awful lot of reasons to be, asking what ifs, and what if this happens, and how will we cope if, and all this, that and the other. But the thing is, that just makes you feel bad, and it just saps from you the energy that you need to cope with the problems that are right in front of you. So what we're going to do in this mindfulness practice is practice being aware of your thoughts and practice techniques so that you can stop those trains of thought when you recognise that they're happening. So, close your eyes if it helps you. I'm going to suggest various things for you to put your attention on. And the first thing I want you to put your attention on is your ears. I'd like you to just notice all the sounds that are reaching your ears. Not stretching out to listen, not straining to see what you can hear, just sitting there very much inside yourself, just noticing sounds as they naturally come to your ears, whether from inside or outside the room. And as you do this, I want you to notice that you can choose where you put your attention. Maybe you're curious about where I'm going to suggest you put your attention next. Well, I'm going to suggest that you put your attention into your body, and as you do, notice those sounds fade away because you're not paying attention to them. So put your attention into your body. Notice all the sensations in or on your body. Feel the touch of the chair or wherever you are on your body. Feel the touch of clothes on your body. What are you aware of? Probably normally never notice the touch of your clothes. Maybe pay attention to the edge of your sleeve if you've got sleeves on. Can you feel where the sleeve ends and where its cover ends and where it's touching your body? And then I want you to move your attention still further in and put your attention onto your breath. Can you just focus your awareness on the simple act of breathing in and breathing out? Now, there is no right or wrong thing to notice. Whatever you notice is perfect for you. But again, be curious. What do you notice as you breathe? When you start to breathe in, what do you feel and where do you feel it? Same when you start to breathe out. Maybe there is one part of your breath that comes to your attention more strongly than any other. That's fine, just let your attention rest there. But remember, this isn't a competitive sport. There's no right or wrong thing to notice. It's your mind, it's your breath, it's your body. And just notice what you notice. Now, normally our breathing happens without us paying any attention to it, which is probably just as well. But because of that, your mind is very likely to want to go wandering off. So if you notice your mind has gone wandering off on a tangent into a daydream, or worrying about when you're going to get loo roll or anything like that, I don't want you to immediately think, oh, I'm lousy at this mindfulness lark. Mindfulness is about being aware of what your mind is doing. So when you notice your mind has wandered off, you're being mindful. So the first thing I want you to do is give yourself a pat on the back. But then I want you to just gently let that thought go and bring your attention back to your breathing. Just noticing every in-breath and every out-breath as it naturally happens. Because whatever else may be happening, the only thing that matters right here and right now is just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. Just this breath coming in, just this breath going out. And it doesn't matter how many times your mind wanders away, just as many times gently lead it back. Because when you notice what your mind is doing, you're being mindful. And when you lead your mind back to being aware of your breath and your body, you are being mindful. You can't fail at mindfulness. Now, whatever you are aware of in your breath, chances are there's movement involved. So now I want you to be curious again. Can you notice that brief moment of stillness that happens in between each breath? When just for a moment everything stops and changes direction. Don't hold your breath. Continue to breathe quite normally, but can you notice that moment of stillness? Be curious about how that stillness makes you feel. Because stillness and calmness go together. And in a world gone mad, stillness and calmness are still important. And while you may feel you can't find that, the moment of stillness you've just found happens hundreds of times every day, whether you notice it or not. And maybe you could imagine that every time that moment of stillness happens, and that's hundreds of times a day, maybe you could imagine that a tiny drop of stillness gets stored for you to use when you need it. Because we all have a place inside us where we keep good feelings, feelings that we can tap into when we need them, when life gets challenging. And those feelings are things like confidence, calmness, stillness, happiness, peacefulness. So what I'd like you to do now is to find that place inside you where you store those feelings. And with your next in-breath, I'd like you to breathe down deeply into that place. And then as you breathe out, can you imagine that your breath carries with it the feeling that you need most right here, right now. And as you breathe, I'd like you to imagine that feeling spreading around the whole of your body. I want you to take 3 or 4 gentle, easy breaths and allow that feeling to spread through the whole of your body from the top of your head down to the tips of your toes. When your body is filled with that feeling, let your attention spread to the whole of your body. Notice how good it feels and notice how good that feeling is. Transfer your awareness back to your breath, and can you think of your breath as an anchor that you can help anchor you into this moment and to this feeling anytime you need it? Now can you once again become aware of the natural rhythm of your breath, breathing in and breathing out quite naturally and normally. And then I want you to slowly let your attention start to move outwards so that you become aware once more of where your body is, and where your body is, in what position it is, whether it's being touched by a bed or a chair or whatever. And then let your awareness move to the very edge of your body. Can you sense where your skin is being touched by clothes, or where there may be a breeze or heat on your skin? Let your awareness move further out so that you become more aware of the room and any sounds from inside or outside the room. And then when you're ready, bring yourself back to normal awareness. But as you do, keep in the front of your mind the thought that you can take this feeling with you through the rest of your day. And all you need to do to recall it is just to take a gentle, deep breath. Okay, while you are bringing yourself back to full awareness, don't rush off. It's not a good idea. Take a minute to sit there. Maybe make your next step a sip of water, or maybe a cup of coffee or something like that. If you can get that concept of taking a deep breath, it can help remind you of this meditation. It can help remind you of the nice relaxed feelings I hope you have right here, right now. And one of the maxims of mindfulness is that whatever's going on, you can only cope with what is going on right in front of you now. Because anything else is in the past and you can't do anything about that. And anything else is in the future. And if it's not here, how can you be doing anything about it? Okay, obviously there are certain things that you can try and plan for anything. Like me, you are planning your shopping in a way you've never planned your shopping before. But once you've done that, there's no point in worrying about it. These are very strange times we live in, and I am in no way suggesting I have got any answers. But what I hope I do in these videos is give you half an hour of calmness, relaxation, but more importantly, some techniques that you can practice so that, you know, when everything's exploding all around you, when you're trying to juggle, you know, homeschooling, shopping, being stuck in, not being able to go out, and all the general craziness that we're coping with at the moment, that you've got techniques that you can stop those thoughts going around in your mind. Because although obviously your physical well-being is hugely important, I don't want anyone to catch COVID, I certainly don't want to catch COVID, your mental well-being is just as important, and paying attention to that is what these kind of things are all about. And while obviously I do these videos once a week, and I will try to get a regular slot, the most important thing isn't what you do when you watch my video. The most important thing is what you choose to do every day, even if you don't watch my video. Just spend a few moments just paying attention to your breathing, using your breath to be an anchor, to find that point of stillness when everything's trying to run away with you. Because there's an awful lot to stress us at the moment. I know my mind is racing at 100 miles an hour. Yes, stress management counsellors are not immune. My IBS, which is stress induced, has flared up. So I'm not immune. I'm only human. You're only human. And you've got to forgive yourself when you know that you haven't managed as well as you could do. But hey, no one's coping well at the moment. But if you can get into the habit of practicing bringing your awareness back into your breath, that has physiological effects, because when you're thinking all those stressful thoughts, it's raising levels of stress chemicals in your body, things that raise your blood pressure, increase your heart rate, cause inflammation. And by finding that stillness and that calmness and stopping those thoughts, you give those chemicals a chance to reduce, so they're not floating around to cause you so much harm. So that's good for your physical health as well as your mental health. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've seen people popping in and out. I will do another video next week. If you've got any suggestions or for something that you'd like me to cover in future videos, do please feel free to let me know. Feel free to share this video as far and wide as you wish. If anyone really enjoys it enough to want to sponsor me, I do have a Patreon page, so do pop over there. Patrons do get a few little extra goodies. I'll be honest and say I've not got any patrons now, so hey, maybe you'd like to be my first. Feel free to share this video with anyone you think might benefit. I will look forward to seeing you all again next week. In the meantime, have a good day, and if you're in the UK and adjusting to the clocks changing, hope your body clock settles soon. Namaste.